We are talking about kinetic theory of gases in continuation. In the previous lecture, we derived the expression for the pressure which is exerted by taking all the assumptions of kinetic theory of gases. And that kinetic theory of gases, we can even prove all those laws which are the gas laws like Boyle's law, Charles' law. All these laws are proved correct by taking the knowledge of the kinetic theory of gases. So that part should be clear with you. And in continuation we are talking, so the few definitions are there, like one is of average speed. When I have the molecules, they are moving with different speeds, say v1, v2, v3 in different directions. And if I'm having n number of molecules, then it is the arithmetic mean of the speeds of the molecules at a given temperature. So it means mathematically we write it as v bar, which is equals to v1 plus v2, so on, vn divided by the number of molecules. This is further proved given these formulas, which you can keep in mind, by Maxwell's speed distribution law. He was able to see the particles, that how they are having the maximum speed or most probable speed with the things. So this was a graph given to you with the speed and the number of particles, and he was able to see that how the particles, they are falling into the different regions. So these formulas, which are again in terms of the Boltzmann constant, it is a square root of 8 kBt divided by pi m, if m is the mass of each molecule, can be written in terms of the gas equation PV equals to RT, and then I can write it in different ways, like square root of 8 RT divided by pi m, or which is again found to be equal to square root of 8 PV upon pi m. That is simply 8 upon pi is telling me the frequency of the, or I can say the probability of the particles having the average speed. Similarly, you can define root mean square speed, which I get as RMS speed. Most frequently we use these terms, average speed, RMS speed. So you should be aware of the difference between the two. RMS speed, if I talk, this is the square root of the mean of the squares of the speeds of the individual particles of the gas. So V RMS is given by square root of V1 square plus V2 square plus so on, plus Vn square divided by number of molecules, that is n. So RMS speed of how many particles we are getting, that also has been derived by Maxwell's speed distribution. Actually, you are not supposed to go in detail of the this law, but you should be aware of these formulas, can be used directly into the numericals. That is Vrms is equals to 3 kBt by m, which is equals to 3 RT by m. Capital M is of course the molecular mass, and I can write it as square root of 3 PV by m. And of course from here you can see that V RMS is directly proportional to the temperature, and if this temperature is kept fixed, then at a given temperature I can say that V RMS is inversely proportional to the molecular mass. So it means if a gas is lighter, then its RMS speed is going to be high, and of course it is increasing with the increase in temperature. Now, this is most probable speed. This where you are getting the maximum molecules having that particular speed. That is most probable speed with you, and that is, you can say that, which is the speed possessed by the maximum number of molecules in a given gas sample at a given temperature. So this was the plot when he did for the number of molecules having the average speed, most probable speed, or RMS speed. So RMS speed is found to be greater than average, and which is again greater than the most probable speed. So this is the formula with you for the most probable speed, that is equals to square root of 2 kBt by m. These all results has been proved experimentally. So there is no such derivation for these formulas, but you have to see that they are dimensionally correct and we can use it in the numericals. The next topic with you is degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom, that maybe you have read in your chemistry as well, that is the number of coordinates, or I may say the independent quantities which are required to describe the position and configuration of the constituent atoms in space, of course, for a given system. So how many independent ways are there to completely represent the position and configuration of those particles or of that system, I can say. So another definition I may write, or you may just keep it in your mind, that total number of independent ways in which particles of the system they can absorb the energy. Energies of course can be translational, rotational or vibrational, because when a particle is there, it can have all these three type of motions with it, like translational, rotational and vibrational. So because of those, I am having how many independent ways they are able to absorb the energy, and then I can write the formula for the degrees of freedom, that here we have denoted small f as the degrees of freedom, which is given by 3n minus capital R. Here capital R is the number of relations, not gas constant, of course. R is the number of relations between the atoms or molecules of a given gas. And capital N is the number of particles or number of molecules or atoms, you can say, in the given system. And here if you want, in place of R, you may write, I think that will be better, that if I write K here, so I can say that K is the number of relations or number of independent relations between the particles. So because capital R we are using for the gas constant, but if you write capital R also, that is correct, no problem. You need to mention what you suppose. So degrees of freedom of a monoatomic gas. Monoatomic gas means there are the atoms, single atoms are there, like you may say, if anyone can name any monoatomic gas.
Argon.
Helium, neon.
Yes, neon. Like for diatomic, I may have the oxygen. Clear? So means single atomic gas it is there. So here your N will be equals to 1. For a monoatomic gas, N will be equals to 1. That is number of particles or number of atoms or molecules. While here K, no relation, because single particle is there. So there is not going to be any relation between the particles. So K will be equals to 0. So then if you want, you can work out with the degrees of freedom, that is equals to 3 into 1 of course, because formula with me for F is 3n minus K, or you can write 3n minus R. Whatever you write, you just stick to that. So degrees of freedom I am getting here 3. For diatomic gas, N it is equals to 2. Number of relations, because like I take the oxygen gas O2, then they can have one relation between them. So K I can write as 1. So by putting the values in this formula, I am getting the degrees of freedom, they are coming out to be 5. Similarly, for triatomic gas, like ozone gas is there, I am having N equals to 3 of this. Here I can have the non-linear molecules as well as the linear molecule. Linear molecule means I am having all the molecules in one line, that is linear molecule. But in non-linear, they are having this way in the form of a triangle. So if this is the way non-linear molecule, like water molecules, SO2, I can take as examples with me. Then number of relations here are 3. So, but N of course capital N is 3, K is also coming out 3. So you can find the degrees of freedom which is coming out to be 6. But if I take the linear molecule, then of course there can be only two possible relations. Relations means how I can connect them. I can connect them by two ways only. Here I can connect them by three ways. So here K will be 2, or I can get the degrees of freedom, they are coming out to be 7. So it means for a triatomic gas, degrees of freedom can be 6 or 7 depending upon the arrangement of molecules. But for diatomic, it is 5 only always, because this is only one possibility is there. So this way you should be able to write degrees of freedom for any polyatomic gas general formula, and then you can write the results as per the requirement. The next thing which is there in your syllabus is that is law of equipartition of energy. Equipartition of energy, as the name itself is suggesting, that the energy is equally distributed. So what was said, and according to this law of equipartition of energy, that if I take any dynamical system which is in thermal equilibrium, then energy is equally distributed among the various degrees of freedom. And it is said that energy which is associated with each degree of freedom is 1 by 2 kBT. Kb is of course the Boltzmann constant, and capital T is the absolute temperature of the system. So this way you should be able to see that now if for a monoatomic gas degrees of freedom are 3, so the total energy will of that system will be 3 by 2 kBT. Similarly for diatomic gas it will be 5 by 2 kBT. So this is going to help you further to find the total energy which is possessed by any system, because it is said for each degree of freedom it is 1 by 2 kBT. So this is to kept in mind, and according to this it means if I take average kinetic energy of a monoatomic gas, I am getting 3 by 2 kBT, and this is if I go with the kinetic theory of gases, then this is average kinetic energy which is given by half mv average here, because I am writing v bar, means average velocity or mean square velocity of the gas molecule. Then I can write half mv square, that is equals to 3 by 2 kBT. This I have written by the kinetic theory of gases. So if I am taking Vx square, Vy square, Vz square are the components of the mean square velocity. Of course, I am writing bar over it. So I will be getting V bar square, it is equals to Vx bar square plus Vy bar square plus Vz bar square. By your component knowledge, you can write this equation. And then the energy in place of half mv bar square, V bar I will be replacing by Vx, Vy and Vz of course with bar along, because if I am taking for the whole system, then this is going to be the average velocity. This we have used in the expression also for the kinetic theory of gases. So average kinetic energy here you can say, because all these three, if I am taking that each molecule is having the same energy in all the direction 3 axis, then these all three energies are equal, and each energy should be equals to half kBT. This is simply to prove the law of equipartition of energy if you have been asked, but generally you get the questions on it, that how you can apply it to the monoatomic, to the diatomic gas, how you can find the specific heats for the monoatomic diatomic gas, and from there you can even prove that gamma it is equals to 1.45 by 3 it will come. That proof also can be done because we have already done with the specific heats. So we can apply this law of equipartition of energy to the specific heats, and we can find the this relation or specific heats for monoatomic gas, diatomic gas, and the triatomic gases as well. The next definition with you is mean free path. Mean free path, that again it is suggested by the name itself, that is the average distance traveled by the molecule between two successive collisions. So if a molecule is moving, it is colliding with the different molecules. And if I take that it is colliding with this and then this is moving like with different collisions before coming with another molecule, then I have said lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4, lambda 5. These are the distances traveled by the molecules. Then average distance or mean free path, I can say lambda bar, it is given by lambda 1 plus lambda 2 so on, divided by the total number of collisions. And you all know that these molecules, they are having the random motion, so zigzag path is there for the molecules. So this formula you have to keep in mind, and you can get the value of this lambda dash another formula also. Most of the times you don't get the derivation, but I have written it for the sake of that if you want to understand that if I have taken number of molecules of a gas and each molecule of the gas we are supposing is having the diameter small d, and just to prove this formula we are supposing let this molecule A is in motion and other molecules they are at rest. This is the distance in time t. If it is moving with average velocity v, then distance will be given by v average into delta t. Now, if I have supposed the volume around this molecule, just this is a diagram is shown to you. You can write volume of the cylinder is of course pi r square into L length of the cylinder, that is given by V into T. So I can write volume of the cylinder is pi d square V bar delta T. And what about the number of collisions which this molecule A suffer in time delta t, that is given by this volume of the cylinder into the number of molecules per unit volume. So number of molecules per unit volume, we always take it as small n. So that symbol we are keeping with us. So I will be simply multiplying this volume with the number of molecules. And mean free path, that is given by the distance which is covered in the time sorry, mean free path delta bar, that is given by the distance covered in time delta t divided by the number of collisions in time delta t. So I will put the values. Distance is v bar delta t and number of collisions, this is the total number of collisions, means pi d square v bar delta t into n. So you see v bar delta t is getting cancelled. So I am left with 1 upon pi n d square. But see, this is the mean free path for a given molecule A, one molecule only. So if I take all the gas molecules, then I can take the value as simply multiplying this value by 1 by root 2. So I am getting mean free path is 1 by root 2 pi n d square. This is the formula which you have to keep in mind. Further, if I wish, I can write this formula in different form, like because density is m into n. Density is mass per unit volume. So for unit volume, I can write it as m into n, or I can write n, it is equals to rho upon m. So this value of n I want to rewrite. So I can write it as m upon root 2 pi d square rho. So this is one formula. This is another formula in terms of the mass of the molecule. If number of molecules are not known to me, then I have been given with the density in the question. The another method to write this formula is if I go with this knowledge of ideal gas equation, that is PV equals to RT, then I can write P it is equals to RT upon V. This I have already done. If I multiply and divide by the total number of molecules, capital N is always the total number of molecules, small n is the number of molecules per unit volume. That you should be noting down. Then this n upon v is of course small n, and r upon n is Boltzmann constant Kb, and this t as it is. From here you can take another value of n, which is coming out to be p divided by kbt. So here in this formula, if I replace n by p upon kbt, I can get this formula for the mean free path is kbt divided by root 2 pi d square p. This p is of course the pressure. So here you should be noting down 3 formulas are there with you for mean free path, which you may directly use in the numericals. These 3 formulas you should be keeping in mind. Next, because you are aware of these terms with you, Avogadro's number, that is the number of molecules in 1 mole, which is 6.023 into 10 to the 23 per mole. Of course, that is the unit for the Avogadro number. You know the Brownian motion, that is simply the zigzag manner motion of the molecule. When I am talking about any gas, molecules, they are moving in zigzag manner or random manner. That motion we term it as the Brownian motion. And of course, this zigzag motion, it increases when we increase the temperature of the fluid. We decrease the density, we decrease the size of the suspended particles, and even with the decrease in the viscosity of the fluid, this motion decreases. Things you have to have in mind. One simple question, beta, I have taken it for you. Question says, calculate the root mean square speed of the smoke particles, each of mass 5 into 10 to the minus 17 kilogram, in their Brownian motion in air at NTP. NTP means normal temperature and pressure. Absolute temperature it means. So 273 Kelvin. Given to you Boltzmann constant Kb, it is equals to 1.38 into 10 to the minus 23 joule per molecule per Kelvin. So by using the kinetic theory of gases, you should be knowing the average kinetic energy of a molecule, that is half mv Rms square, that is equals to 3/2 kBt. And you can put the values for finding the Vrms. That is coming out to be square root of 3 kBt upon m. If I put the value of kb is 1.38 times minus 23. Absolute temperature is 273. Mass is given 5 into 10 to minus 17. So you can get the answer. So this way, bache, you can try more numericals. Keep things up to this for today. Thank you, everyone.